All right, this is Scott Emerson with Big Spring Issues, and today I am interviewing Jimmy Long, our County Commissioner, Precinct 3, and we're talking about the new Howard County Assistance District, which is going to be on our November ballot. Jimmy, what can you tell me about this?
Well, the Howard County Assistance District is a way that Howard County can generate income through a 2% sales tax other than property tax. And it's the only way that we're going to be able to maintain or possibly lower property tax is figure out some other way to bring in revenue to pay for the overhead that is mandatory by the state of Texas and mandated by the state of Texas, and help us pay for some of these unfunded mandates they keep saying you will do, but we ain't sending the money to do it. And so we need something to generate a different form of revenue to the county other than property tax. Property tax owners are carrying the blunt of the overhead for the county. And I've been researching this since 2018, and I believe it is the answer to help us keep slowly creeping up on property tax. It'll maintain that or possibly lower that with incoming future increases.
Okay. So who can vote on this, Jimmy?
Okay, this only affects those folks outside of the incorporated areas, and that's just a fancy word of saying city limits. So outside of the city limits of Big Spring, outside of the city limits of Coahoma and Forsyth, the people who live inside the city limits will not be able to vote. It's our good old country folks that'll be able to say yes or no. However, if they voted in, and I pray they do, then it lowers property tax across the board for the county. It could possibly lower property tax across the board.
Okay, so only the people that don't live in the city of Big Spring or Coahoma or Forsyth get to vote on this. And the sales tax that will be generated only happens from businesses in that same area. Is that correct?
That is correct. It will not affect our farmers, our ranchers, or anybody else that is tax exempt already. They'll be able to go into those businesses, still buy their products with no tax added to it. That current tax rate right now on those who do pay taxes is 6.25.
So let's just talk about the dollar store out in Sand Springs. If I go buy something there right now, my sales tax rate is 6.25.
Correct.
If this passes, my sales tax rate there will be the exact same it is in the city of Big Spring or the dollar store at Coahoma or anywhere else.
That's correct.
Okay, so basically it's
8.25.
just making everybody's sales tax even.
Even. That's correct.
And this money can only be spent in that area. Is that correct?
Well, yes, it can be spent on roads, road and bridge department, our sheriff's department, our firefighting department, and those are the things that affect the county folks the most, and that's the ones that this court has purposed this money will help offset some of the costs so that we can continue, and we're hoping it'll take a couple of years, Scott, to get an account built up. It's not going to be like tomorrow we got $10 million or nothing like that. It's going to take some time, a couple of years, but once that money's established in a separate account, we'll be able to pull from that to implement into our general budget to help reduce the cost of what that burden is on the taxpayer, property taxpayers right now, and use those sales tax to help offset some of that expense.
So because you're using it for law enforcement, roads and bridges, and firefighting, it's going to help the whole county.
The whole county.
Inside the city of Big Spring, inside the city of Coahoma, inside the city of Forsyth, everything that's in Howard County.
Absolutely.
Okay, well that's a pretty neat deal. So the only stores and businesses that will be affected are the ones that are already in that area.
Correct.
Okay, and it doesn't affect anybody farming or anybody ranching or any tax exempt or anybody in the city of Big Spring, Forsyth, or Coahoma, unless they go outside those city limits to buy something.
Right.
and then they're just paying the same amount they'd be paying if they bought it in town.
That's exactly
I
right.
doubt if there's anybody that buys in that area because it's a lower sales tax. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Convenience.
Well, yeah, if they're buying in that area for convenience.
Right. What it does is we have quite a few of our oil industries that purposely set up shop outside of the city limits to help curtail some of that sales tax, 2%. And they're the ones beating our infrastructure to death on a daily basis, and all of the property owners are having to foot that bill.
Boy, isn't that a whole nother video?
Yeah. But this way, they're going to help pick up a little bit of that tab to start repairing some of that. Also, we have these temporary folks. Glad they're here, but they come in with their RVs, stay a while, doing whatever they do in the industry area here, or maybe just stopping by for a week, and then they move on. But if they stop at any of those places that are out, most of them are outside of the city limits, and they spend a little money, they drop some of that money here to help us do that.
Well, let's talk about that. Some of the RV parks in town have their own little convenience stores.
Absolutely.
And so their tax rate's going to go from 6 1/4 to 8 1/4.
Correct. If they have a sales tax.
Well, they have to, or they couldn't have a store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to be paying. So it's going to take a little time to get everybody implemented. The comptroller's offices. It's about a 6-month period to get everybody notified what they're to do and where it goes, and get it all implemented, and then get the revenue coming in before Howard County will ever see a check. So if it passes in November, maybe June, July of 22, we'd see some money coming back in to put into a special.
So let's talk about the election itself. This measure will only show up on the ballots of the people that live in that area.
That is correct.
When I come to get my ballot to vote for the city charter, it's not going to have this on it because I don't live in this area.
That's correct.
Okay, so if you live in this area, you are going to see vote for or against Howard County Assistant District County Prop A. And we need you to vote for
That is correct.
to make this pass.
Right.
So if any of y'all have any comments, comment below in the comments section, and Jimmy and I will try and get them answered over the next couple of days. Remember, early voting starts next week.
Absolutely.
So we need to do this, and I suggest if it was me and I lived in that area, I would be voting for this. Jimmy, are you feel the same way?
Absolutely. And I want to say something. One question that's come up to me quite often, and I hope this will put a lot of people's mind at ease. They say, well, we believe that the Commissioner's Court that we have now will use this properly. And I know in time, we're all going to be replaced on the Commissioner's Court. We know that. But we hope we are training as people come on, and we show them how we've been doing business, the new ones, that they will carry on the legacy that we've started here. Can't guarantee that because everybody's got their own mind. But I believe that we cannot do the right thing now in fear of what might happen later. We can't let fear drive our vote. We got to do what we believe is right for Howard County now.
Jimmy, we're bumping up on 10 minutes, and you get that long, everybody seems to zoom off. So I want to thank you for your representation on the Howard County Commissioner's Court. Y'all have always been the most frugal of all of our entities, and I personally would like to thank you for it.
Oh, well, I appreciate that, and you're very welcome.
Thank y'all very much for watching. Hopefully we answered your questions before you asked them, but if you got a question, hit us up in the comments below. Thank y'all. This is Scott Emerson, Jimmy Long. We'll catch you next time.